And yeah, I was, I was making good money, of course, to support my family.
Right.
And I was just about there to be the store manager.
Okay.
In that area, and all of the South Sudanese were outside. They can witness that.
Okay.
And being back here as a home, and you have the things, the expenses to do, and to make a living.
That's right.
It was kind of tough.
Yeah, actually, you're talking through experience that you are managing a family, you
Yes.
work at the same time. Were you at school or
In U.S. or here?
in the U.S.?
In U.S., yes. I was one of those people of South Sudanese who were dedicated to spend the time to get an education, basically, and at the same time build up the family, because that's the most important things. And yeah, I've done it. It was not easy.
Right.
But if you dedicate yourself to something, finally you will get the result, the good result. And I can witness that, and that's why I'm here.
You are a hardworking young man, and at the same time, Mr. Ball here. What is your personal experience if you brain drain U.S. Social youth activities, and when you compare the youths outside there and you look at them today here in Juba, what is that you have to say about?
What I can say about the youth in diaspora, they are more involved in communities.
Good.
And I'm not, don't quote me into this, I'm not saying that youth here in South Sudan, they're not more likely involved in the community building or development. But when we're in diaspora, the youth, we get involved in SPLA chapter, we're involved in Sudanese community,
That's
we're
right.
involved, and even in our local tribal section. So, and that's a good thing. You get to know more people, you get to gain more experience.
Right.
And that's basically the meaning of youth. It's about developing yourself, connection, being able to connect the communities.
Mr. Ball, there is a statement that they always say that the youths down here are not delivering, they are lazy. Do you agree with that statement?
I don't agree with it, and I'll tell you why I don't agree with it.
Good.
The reason I don't agree with it is I believe that it's a generalization. You cannot generalize and say all youths are like this or like that, whether they are here in Juba, South Sudan, or outside of South Sudan.
Right.
When we talk about youths, we're talking about not just one person or two people. We're talking about a number, like a huge number of people.
That's right.
And each person is an individual, meaning we have our own personalities, our own ambitions, our own dreams. So basically, I don't agree with that generalization that youths here are not delivering. It's at the end of the day, it also boils down to this. It's about having your own dreams, having your own plans in terms of what you want to be in the future or what you want to do in the future.
Right.
So it's the same. I would say it's the same, whether it's in South Sudan or outside of South Sudan, like in North America or Europe. It depends on individuals, what they want to do with their lives. And so basically, I know there's some youths here that I know that are delivering,
Right.
that are very productive,
Motivated.
that are very engaged, that are doing a lot than some other youths outside. So, yeah.
So you've been also, as I did mention, living in a diaspora for a long time. At least you having a lot of experiences on how do you look into the preparation of our independence that today that we are preparing. Is it unique? Is it compared to other countries? How do you look into it today? Is it in time? Is it on time?
The way I look at this is this: Independent Day, or the celebration for the upcoming July 9th, it's something special.
Good.
For all the South Sudanese in general. Not only on the material stuff,
Right.
we're all going to go to the millennium and celebrate it, and everybody has to dance and all that stuff. It's about being with all your people,
Good.
being in a unity places,
All right.
like what we witnessed last year in that place. They were marching, little one up to elders. They were all there. Okay, and it is not because they wanted to be there so that they can show themselves.
Right.
They wanted to be part of that.
Part of that. Okay.
And I can see that coming too, because I was driving on the wrong across the road going to the airport. I see the young man was sweeping along the roads.
Good.
The South Sudanese guy.
All right.
That's kind of a spirit It doesn't come easy. You know, it needs all of us to involve. It doesn't matter what kind of job you're going to be doing.
That's it.
But that young man wants to be ready for that day. So he feels the need to clean that road so that our guests, when they come, they find a clean city.
That is a preparation. Mr. Anjelo, and you are working with the company, and at the same time, I think you are the CEO of
No, I'm not a CEO. I'm just a manager.
Good. What is that company all about?
Basically, Kuoc Petroleum. Our operation. We supply Jet A1 to Juba International Airport.
Good.
We supply roughly, about more than 50% of all the aircraft that landed in Juba International Airport. And then also we have those two different competitive companies. And the reason, the way I look at it in the Kuoc Petroleum and how they're contributing and service they're providing to our nation, it's very important.
Right.
The company has started it, in the temporary, where they used to use, balloons to put in the fuel.
All right.
And have come far away, to become a company now itself, which have the office and the tankers and 3 bowsers and the employees, who are contributing again also to the company by paying taxes at the same time. So I would say Kuoc Petroleum, it's a key figure for our nation because it's the service that they have delivered, even though they have faced a lot of challenges.
And what is the contribution of Kuoc towards the independence?
We've tried harder, even though there is a lot of shortage. We have a shortage in the hard currency, but we have worked harder. And I wanted to thank Central Bank for allocating, a little bit just to help us out, about $100,000 US dollar to be transferred outside. And that basically is not enough to provide enough fuel for the upcoming celebration. But we have tried harder. We don't want to let our country down. But at the same time, I feel like these guys, the bank guy, should at least, provide us so that we can serve our nation in that aspect.
Okay. As far as the independence celebration is concerned, Mr. Ball, what is your personal point of view on the youths, actually? Because youths believe, they have a different kind of belief that, independence is coming, let me prepare to drink, let me prepare to do a number of things, actually. What can you say about that?
Okay, before I answer that question directly, let me just say this. I've never had this opportunity before, but I just want to say, I want to give a special thank to all the SPLA soldiers, like I said earlier, who sacrificed so many years of their lives to liberate this country, to give us the independence that we're celebrating.
We're celebrating in
about
a few
6
days.
Yeah. So I want to give them a special thank you. I want to salute them, and I believe the majority of the SPLA soldiers are youths also.
Right.
So it goes back to what the question you asked earlier, that do you think the youths are delivering? I would just tie it to that question and say yes, they are delivering, because I would say maybe more than 80% of those soldiers were youths. So they have contributed, they have done a lot for this, for our nation, basically. And just to go back again about my personal experiences about the independence celebration that is coming up in the next few days. I'm more than happy to be part of it again, because last year I was part of it, and I made a point to come back, so just to make sure that I was part of it. So I'm happy I'm going to be part of it again this year. I would encourage the youth, especially in the diaspora, to come and visit their home, because like they say, sweet home. Just come, taste it. And like I said earlier, you come here, you come to Juba, you will come back again.
Oh, thank you so much. Mr. Anjelo, what do you have to say about the petroleum, your aircraft industry, actually, because you supply a lot of of oil, whatever. What is the future of aircraft industry in South Sudan as you look into it?
You know, I see a bright future for the South Sudan in terms of the aviation in general. But what I looked at, what I see is going to be a problem. It's giving the chances to these local companies to rise, and then they're doing a lot, by the way. I know that we have some training, technical thing that has to be done among our people, but at the same time, being in that sensitive area as far as the aviation concerned, it's a big bone for the country. And I'm not saying that our government should pay attention to that area, but I want all the Southern Sudanese to make sure that they're paying attention to this kind of sensitive area.
Okay.
As far as what we serve.
What to serve today?
And going back again to what I was telling you, if I go in details, average weekly what we sell in fuel, we sell about up to 250 liters.
All right.
And these fuel we import them from Kenya, Eldoret.
That's right.
And they're costly.
Okay.
And not only that, the taxes. If you look into the fuel, Jet A1, all over the world, it's not being taxes. It's a zero-rated, tax-free. And here in South Sudan, we've been taxed for it. Like Jet A1 is about 1.2. 1.25%.
Okay,
that's
Mr. Wall, normally everything you do that preparation, whatever for independence that is coming in, normally there are a lot of challenges. What do you think are the fundamental challenges that we will be facing in this celebration?
Excuse me. You mean personally or as a nation?
In general, as a nation, as you look in a personal point of view.
To be honest, let me start by saying, maybe I'm not an expert in this area, but I can try to answer that question. The challenges, I think, based on what we have seen in Juba over the last few days, the first challenge maybe would be the security challenge, and that's why we see all the security forces all over Juba basically, day and night now, because that is the first challenge, the biggest challenge, and it has been a challenge for quite some time now, the security issue in Juba basically, because there's crime seem to be going up. And then the political tension between the North and the South is also rising. So I believe the biggest challenge right now would be the security challenge. After that, maybe the other challenge would be in terms of logistics, in terms of organizing and delivering, in terms of giving, in terms of celebrating the independence next week, basically.
Thank you. What do you have to say, Mr. Anjelo?
Reread your question one more time.
I mean challenges that, as far as the celebration is concerned, as we count down for the days to come and we're getting down with it, what do you think are the challenges that we would be facing?
The challenges that we will be facing, we're a new nation. We do have our done, credit. I'm not going to deny that. But with a little what we have, I think our government trying to maintain that as possible. But again, it really needs all of us to be involved, not only just focusing on the government.
Collective responsibility
for us.
Okay. So what do you think the government would do to encounter that?
In terms of challenges?
Yes.
First of all, I believe our government knows what it's doing. I believe they are up to the challenge. I believe they will step up to the plate and deliver at the right time. So, like last year, I think the challenge was even bigger than this year, because we were still part of Sudan when Sudan was one country, and people were not sure whether South Sudan was going to gain its independence or not. People were saying, especially because the independence was in July, and 2 months prior to that, the North, especially Bashir, invaded Abyei. So people were speculating a lot, and a lot of people believe that South Sudan was never going to become independent, because in the last minute, maybe there was going to be an attack, war was going to erupt, and everything was just going to fall apart. So I think this year, although there are challenges, I think the prospect is even better than last year. That is based basically on my personal analysis.
What is your point of saying that? I mean, what would you actually say? What do you do? Would you bring up on when you look at the youth of South Sudan today? What advice do you have for them? I mean, in this independent anniversary coming.
You know, in my personal experience, and all the youth in general, let me just represent them. We've been through a lot. You know, since we were born, we were raised. Some of us experienced the bush life. Some of us experienced the life in Khartoum, which was not pleasant. So basically, to overcome to these challenges, I don't think it's really hard for the youth at the moment, because having experience versus not having experience, I think the one who has more experience can overcome to that. So in general, what I wanted to say is it's all of us to be involved as youth.
All right.
You know, do your thing. Don't just focus on being, you know, saying that, you know what, I want to be a politician.
All right.
You know, there's nothing wrong in being ambitious. It's always good. But are you ready for it to take that capability?
That's right.
That's a key point.
And what would be your final message to the youth outside there?
What I wanted to say to the youth outside is, you know, I go back to what I was saying earlier. You know why you were there. There is a reason why you were there. You know, you left the home. Who did you left home? You know, what did you experience back home, back then? If you know all of this, I think it is time for you to come back and build this nation. It is not only government, but it is
the
you.
collective
It's
responsibility.
you.
Yeah.
You know,
Mr. Ball, what would be your final message to the youth outside there as far as independence celebration is concerned?
Okay, my final message would be basically whether we are talking about youth in South Sudan or in diaspora, what I would tell them is this nation is your nation, this is your home, and the future belongs to you. You have to play a role. You cannot just sit on the fence and expect somebody else to do the job for you. So we have to step up to the plate. We have to be engaged. We have to participate in all aspects of building up this nation. We cannot wait and say, I'm waiting for this leader or this political leader or this time when everything is perfect for me to come and get involved.
Okay.
If you want to get something done, it's better to start it from scratch so that when it's built, you know you are part of it. It will make you proud. It will make future generations proud of you as well. So let me just conclude by saying what I said earlier.